Welcome to Wash Talk, everyone, the Carwash Podcast. I'm your host, Rich DiPaolo, and joining me today, we have Keong Chun Chieh, founder and CEO of IGL Coatings, and Dustin Jackson, new CEO of IGL Coatings USA. And gentlemen, just so we're clear from the beginning, IGL Coatings USA is the U.S. distributor to IGL Coatings, which is based in Malaysia, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Sounds good. So welcome to Wash Talk, Keong and Dustin. On today's episode, we've posted quite a bit of news from the company IGL Coatings on carwash.com recently. So I wanted to take the opportunity to catch up with you both and follow up on some of those news items. But first, can you share some background on the company and how it got started serving car care professionals?
Okay. Well, I'll start on this one then. So
yeah.
Well, I started this about 10 years ago. Mainly is because of what I saw in the industry at the time. So me being based in Malaysia, right? The occupational safety and health, right, is actually a lot worse compared to a lot of other countries. So when I'm actually saw some of the companies, the brand, the products they're using, and lack of enforcement and the lack of education in that area, it's really, really a serious issue that I saw, and that is where that I decided that something has to be done, and if the attempt of trying to educate, right, it can get expensive and difficult. So instead of doing that, I decided to why not just start a product that can actually a lot safer, easier to use for the users. So as long as the product actually does and help them in terms of their business, then they will actually be a user and they will like it, and then they will actually start to be a promoter of the product of the brand. And that's how our class started. Mainly it's because of that issue where I wanted to solve the chemical hazard issue, and that was about 10 years ago. At a time when we talk about safety data sheets and everything, were like no one actually really care about that documentation.
Mm-hmm.
Keong, in addition to being user friendly, as you mentioned, just by going on the website and also reading the press releases, sustainability seems to be at the forefront of your company's mission and goals, right? So what does being a sustainable company mean to your company and its customers?
Okay, so when we started, we actually were using the term a lot more towards the eco-friendly side. Sustainability were not something that was so talk about. And fast forward to I think maybe 5 years later, which is 5 years ago, right? Then this sustainability thing started coming up, and then you realize that hey, this is what we actually been doing all this while. Because in terms of we talk about product itself, we talk about sustainability in terms of the product, the chemicals, the formulation. What kind of materials are we using? Are we actually using materials that are competing with wood? Other materials? Are we using materials that are heavy in terms of the hydrocarbons, limited resources from there? So we work on our formulation in that area, and then when we produce, right, we think about wastage. How sustainable is our process? Are we actually going to be generating a lot of wastage that is going back into the ocean? Are we going to generate a lot more wastage in terms of electricity inefficiency that will actually end up generating more electricity, which comes from fuel again? Then there'll be more carbon emission. Then the next thing we think about is sustainability in terms of the business as well. So I think when I started about 10 years ago, right, there were another 20, 30, or maybe 40 brands that actually appeared at the same time. So I wanted to do this for a long run. If the company does not survive, right, then my mission of actually educating people about product that can actually be safer, more sustainable for everyone, to the environment, to the people as well, will not materialize. So the company has to be sustainable as well. So basically, to answer your question, I cover in terms of the product, and I cover in terms of the business as well. So these are the areas of sustainability that we cover in the world.
Definitely shows on the website for sure that's in the forefront. Something else I read on your recent news is that one of the company's products was recently recognized at the ITEX 24 show, right? So can you tell us a little bit more about that show and the award that your company won?
Okay. So ITEX is actually an annual it's an annual invention expo and competition that actually happens in the Southeast Asia region. So multiple countries will actually participate over there, from private companies to universities, where they will join and they will actually submit their invention, and we will compete to see which product has better novelty, nowadays we use the term ESG in terms of the climate as well. So what we want is actually a new iteration of our EcoCoat armor. It's a bed liner system in a way, where it's produced in a way, it's a very, very low VOC, high solid system. So in a way, most bed liner system that you see in the market is like, you have the high VOC system, the material that you use, you have the typical xylene, the hazardous solvents. So for us, we take away all these things, because that is not within our DNA. So we remove all this and we created a new version that is a lot safer and easier for users, and also safer for the user. So that invention got us an award in the ITEX.
Congratulations on that. Yeah, sounds like it was well deserved. Dustin, if I could bring you into the conversation here,
Sure.
in May, the company announced new leadership for the IGL Coatings USA distributor. Why was this a good fit for you, and what plans do you have to kind of bring IGL Coatings USA to the next level?
Yeah, it's a great question. Mike Carlin, my partner, and I decided to purchase the rights to the USA. But this was a lofty dream of ours a few years ago. We've been very good friends, and Mike actually worked as a sales rep and kind of worked his way up into a more of a supervisor, general manager type of role with IGL over the last few years. And we had just built a good friendship. We traveled together with a software company that I own. We were always at the trade shows together, sharing, booth spaces side by side and stuff. So we built this really good friendship, and I'd done business with the detailing operation that I own, buying products from IGL over the years. And so through this friendship and relationship, and even with the previous owners, Joel and Jeff, we had kind of had this lofty dream of this thing. And so when we were presented with the opportunity from the previous owners, it was a no-brainer for us. It was kind of like one of those milestone moments for Mike and I. And our plans are to, keep what they've built alive and running, and then make improvements of things that they wanted to see done. Joel and Jeff did a really good job of building a solid business and a solid foundation. And, as times are evolving, there's obviously improvements that need to be made, and things, processes to put in place to make things run smoother. And that's the things that we want to focus on. We want to take some friction out of the buying process and really, create informative create information to help our installers understand the business aspect alongside the product aspect. And I think that that's kind of the twofold package that we bring to this company.
Yeah, such an evolving market here in the U.S. There's so many changes happening place in the car wash industry. But when you look at the car wash landscape in the U.S., how does it compare to other parts of the world that the company operates in? Are there any similarities or differences that you're noticing out there?
Oh, good question. Very good question. So, if we compare to the Europe and to like Asia, there are some difference. So if we take the US, right? I mean, from what I observe, but Dustin will chime in later. Most of the business, right, in the US, it's more operated by the owner themselves. Whereas for like, in this part of the world, in Asia, Southeast Asia even, most of the business, right, are not run by the business owner. They are the investor, and then they hire a lot of workers to operate the business. Majority of them are actually operated in this way. So this is one of the key areas that I actually observe the differentiation over there. Then when it comes to providing the workmanship, right, in a way, for me as an observer of multiple markets, right, I always lean towards an operation where it's actually operated by the owner, because of the accountability is there, the ownership, everything is just a lot. The time is there. It's just totally different. But then it's just two different environment. The way where it brings out to that way. Then the other part where I see similarity, right, is when the usage of product. At least from the early days, I noticed is that when it comes to product information, the occupational safety and health issues, this is globally across the world. I noticed it's the same issue, where a lot of people actually still need to be educated about, like, the things that they're using, the hazards, how to actually store it, how to actually dispose of it. This is common across, regardless. That's why I notice is similarity. So maybe, Dustin will add something about the American users, I guess.
Yeah, I can speak to our market. I don't have a lot of experience in the other, countries, their markets, but I mean, we've dealt with Australia and Canada through our software. But speaking to the, the United States, the American market, like, Keong's spot on with thinking that it's generally an owner-operator style business. And the reason being is it's low cost of entry of business to get into in most cases. So you got guys that typically start out as a hobby or a DIY, and it evolves into this thing where they're making money. And some of the challenges that we face in that is teaching these guys that turned a hobby into a business and then operating it as a business. When I got into the detailing industry 11 years ago, I was owner operator, but I had no intentions of continuing that framework, scaling it up where I was in the shop. And I think that that's different for most shops in the States, in that most of the guys want to be the best detailer in their shop, most of the business owners. And, and I always tell them, that's the issue with that. And there's a lot of pride to be had in that and all. But if you're the only person that can do that thing in your shop, then you will be that only person doing that thing in your shop. And, if there's one thing that I could speak to our industry and teach guys is to, take pride in teaching someone to be as great as you are in our industry. Bring it up. And that's how we scale. And that's how we grow these businesses, is to teach each one and then let someone else kind of take that spotlight in the shop. But Keong's right too. I mean, the quality and the ownership to be working there within the shop. There's a lot of pros to that, but I do think that our market is definitely probably 90% owner operator and then 10% owner, absentee ownership type thing.
Very interesting. So one more question for you both, and then we'll get you off the hot seats for today. You've been sharing so much news with Carwash.com, and we certainly appreciate it. We can't do it without the help of all the folks out there in the industry and across the world. So we definitely appreciate you sharing your news with us at Carwash.com. What can we expect next from IGL Coatings and IGL Coatings USA? What can we expect for the remainder of this year and heading into 2025?
Well, at least from the sharing, right, we will be launching more products, more innovative products in a way where it can actually help the industry to expand more like out of the box of what they are just kind of like doing at the moment. So that's one area they are doing. We are also looking into ways where it can continue to actually improve our population in terms of making it a lot more sustainable, like reducing the carbon footprint. So these are some of the areas that are actually really working on in terms of product and our R&D side. So I can't tell a lot at the moment, but we'll be definitely sharing more information about some of the things that we'll be releasing in terms of that, at least from the HQ perspective. And for the US side, I think Dustin will have more to share, I guess, for the American market.
Yeah. I mean, I was hoping Keong would list all the new coming up products that are in the pipeline, but I guess he's going to keep that tight to the vest. So no, we do know about those things, and we're hands-on involvement and testing as needed, and so we're as excited as everyone else about what's coming out, product side of things. But the U.S. focus will be alongside product information is going to be the business side of things. And we want to add a piece to our trainings where we're spending some time in the business side and marketing and KPI so we can start to or continue to professionalize our industry. When you think about car wash detailing, 7, 8, 9 years ago, it really wasn't a professionalized industry. And we weren't taking that serious. With the introduction of coatings and professional products, has given us the opportunity to step out of that and come into a recognized industry with professionals. But in order for us to do that, we have to train, our business owners and operators to operate in that manner. And so, IGL USA's focus alongside of the product information will be the business side of things. And we want to give our installers the tools to do so. And we'll do that through trainings and content and continuing to connect with our customers and just teach them to run their business as a business and not a hobby.
Sounds great. Well, best of luck moving forward. We'll be on the edge of our seats here at carwash.com waiting for those updates. We maintain a strong presence here in the U.S., but as we see with carwash.com on the back end of our research, we see hundreds of countries visiting carwash.com. So we're here to help if you'd like. So please continue to reach out to us at carwash.com. And thank you both for taking some time today to do this interview with me.
Of course. Thank you. It was an honor to be invited.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's an honor to be invited. Thank you very much.